All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a tool called Windsurf, which is really an AI-powered IDE. And this isn't just another small step forward, it's a huge leap in how we, as developers, are going to work with artificial intelligence. It's built to do way more than just suggest the next line of code. So let's see how it all works. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been in the zone working on a big new feature? You've got your AI paraprogrammer fired up, but it just feels like it can't keep up. You know, it's awesome for maybe one little function, but when things get really complicated, does it feel like you're just hitting a wall? Yeah, that's a super common feeling. Look, the first wave of these AI assistants, they're fantastic at auto-completing code or refactoring a small chunk of it. I mean, they can cut down on boilerplate by almost half, which is incredible. But their vision is kind of limited. The second you need to do something that touches multiple files or updates your state management and then writes the tests for all of it, they just get lost. They can't see the big picture. And this is exactly where the next generation of tools comes into play. We are moving way beyond simple code completion and into this new world of AI-first IDEs. A perfect example of this is Windsurf, and at its heart is a really cool innovation they call Cascade technology. It's designed specifically to crush those big project-wide changes. Here's a pretty simple way to think about it that I think really nails it. Your current AI tool is like a sous chef in a kitchen. You can tell it, hey, chop this onion or whip up that sauce, and it does it perfectly. But Windsurf is trying to be the head chef. You give it the whole recipe, that high-level goal, and it coordinates everything across all the different stations to bring you the final complete dish. So what is this head chef tech? Well, it's called Cascade mode. And the most important thing to get here is that it's built for multi-step, autonomous workflows. What that means is you give it one single high-level prompt, and the AI itself figures out the plan and then carries out all the complex changes across your entire project to get it done. It's not just suggesting the next word, it's literally architecting the solution. And we're not just talking theory here. The real-world uses are for those big, time-consuming jobs every developer dreads. Things like, implementing a whole new feature that has to touch the UI, the back-end services, the state, or maybe refactoring a huge part of your app to a totally new design pattern, or even just setting up a whole new module from scratch. These are the exact kinds of workflows that Cascade was built for. Okay, that all sounds really impressive, but what does it actually look like when you're using it? Let's take a look at how a simple prompt can unlock a massive, massive boost in productivity. All right, so here we go. This is a super common feature request for pretty much any mobile app. And this is not a simple task, right? This involves the user interface, device permissions, making sure the user's input is valid, managing state, and talking to an API. This is the kind of high-level prompt you'd give directly to Windsurf. And boom. This right here shows you the power of Cascade mode. Just look at what happens from that one sentence. Windsurf doesn't just give you a little code snippet, it builds out the entire feature. It makes the screen, it handles the tricky native permissions for picking an image, it sets up a solid form with validation, it writes the API calls, it plugs everything into your Redux store, and it even writes the tests for you. All of that from just that one prompt. Let's do another one, but this time let's focus on optimization. A slow, janky newsfeed is a classic headache in mobile development. You know you need to fix it, but it's a bunch of small, tricky changes. So you give Windsurf this goal: make it faster. And again, the response isn't just one suggestion. It's a full-on, multi-step solution. Windsurf goes in and applies all the best practices an expert developer would. It swaps out inefficient components for better ones. It adds caching and virtualization to handle tons of data. It memoizes components so they don't re-render for no reason. And it even adds monitoring hooks so you can track how it's doing. It's basically performing an expert-level refactor all on its own. So the power here is pretty undeniable. But like any powerful tool, you've got to know how to use it to really get the most out of it. So let's quickly run through some best practices for working with an AI IDE like Windsurf. Think of this as your cheat sheet. First up, be specific. The head chef needs a clear recipe, not just a vague idea of a meal. Second, give it context. Tell it which files or design patterns to look at for inspiration. Third, don't expect it to be perfect on the first shot. Use follow-up prompts to guide it and refine the result. Fourth, and this one is absolutely crucial, you always review the code. It's your co-pilot, it is not the pilot. And finally, build testing right into your first request, just like we saw in that first example. So when you take a step back, what does a tool like this actually mean for the future of building software? Well, it's pointing to a really fundamental change in the partnership between humans and AI. Let's just summarize the big difference here. Your standard AI tools, they work line by line. Their job is to help you write the code. Windsurf, with its cascade mode, works project-wide. It enables these autonomous workflows. Its job is to help you implement the feature. It's a huge shift from being an assistant to being more of an architect. And that leaves us with one last, really important question to think about. As these tools get smarter and more capable, as they go from being a simple assistant to a truly autonomous partner, our role as developers is going to change. If the AI is handling more and more of the how, what does that mean for us? Maybe the most critical skill won't be writing perfect code anymore, but instead it'll be the ability to architect systems, to define problems with absolute clarity, and to become an expert at guiding these incredibly powerful new partners. Thanks for tuning in.